Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to help you get truly well-informed, cutting through the noise, our mission, to pull out the most important bits, the surprising facts from today's headlines. Today, we're zeroing in on June 18th, 2025. Big stuff happening, global politics, domestic issues, even national celebrations. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating, I think, is seeing how fast things change, right? And all the layers, the context, even connecting stories that seem totally different. It's never just one thing happening on its own. That's why today's news is so interesting to get into.
Absolutely. And speaking of fast-moving events, let's jump straight to the Middle East. The State Department just announced they're temporarily closing the embassy and consular sections, Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. That's from today, June 18th through the 20th. They're saying it's regional security concerns, tensions are high. So what's this telling us, really? What kind of signal is the U.S. sending here, especially with everything that's been escalating?
Well, pulling back like this, even temporarily, it shows a real shift, prioritizing keeping their people safe right now over, say, the symbolic presence. It might mean a more cautious stance, maybe a bit more hands-off if things flare up again. And this comes right after, Israel's airstrikes on Tehran and then Iran firing back missiles almost immediately. It's a tense backdrop.
Yeah.
And then you had former President Trump calling for Iran's unconditional surrender.
Right, I saw that. And warning their supreme leader is an easy target. Strong words.
Very strong. And that rhetoric directly kicked off a big debate in Congress about war powers. Who actually has the authority to declare war? It just highlights these huge legal and political questions about potential U.S. involvement.
Such a complex international picture. But it's not just global, is it? Things are connected right here at home. Let's switch gears to a pretty significant domestic story out of New York City. Mayoral candidate Brad Lander, well, he was actually detained by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He was at court just accompanying an immigrant. Now, he was released, no charges filed. But here's where it gets really interesting. The immediate reaction was, accusations, people saying this was political, pointing fingers at the Trump administration, suggesting it was a targeted move. What are the implications there?
It's more than just friction. Lander's detention, it sort of demonstrates how federal immigration enforcement is reaching into local politics, even into advocacy work. That could have a chilling effect, couldn't it? Local officials might hesitate to support immigrant communities. It really shows how federal policy can bump up against city politics, city autonomy, creates this very visible clash of priorities.
Yeah, that tension is clear. Okay, so from a courtroom conflict to something quite different, a national celebration. Over in D.C., they had the Flag Day Parade today. It was also marking the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary. Looked like a big patriotic event. Lots of praise for unity, supporting the troops, honoring veterans. Many called it a powerful display.
hmm And we connect this to the bigger picture. Yes, it was widely praised for that spirit, that patriotism, but it wasn't entirely without criticism either. Some people brought up the cost, the expense involved.
Okay. So there's nuance there, too.
Exactly. It's not just about the money itself, but it kind of reflects those wider debates we always have, right? About federal spending priorities. How do you balance celebrating the nation, supporting the military with other pressing social needs? Even unifying moments can show those underlying complexities, different views on what matters most.
So, quite a day. We've touched on major global tensions, these sharp domestic political moments, and even a national celebration with its own layers, all from June 18th. It really drives home the value of, digging a bit deeper than just the headlines, finding those surprising angles.
And it brings up a really important question for everyone listening, I think. How do we, as informed citizens, sort through all this? You have these intense competing narratives, international conflict on one hand, very local political fights on the other. How do you weigh it all? Understanding the full context, even when events seem separate, is just so crucial for getting real insight. So maybe something for you to think about. Could these very different events from today actually be linked? Maybe subtly influencing each other? And if they are, what could that mean for the bigger political picture going forward?